Tomorrow, November 20th, that's when the preliminary bids are due for Warner Brothers Discovery. You know, the 100-year-old Hollywood titan that gave us The Dark Knight, Harry Potter, and whatever the hell Batgirl was supposed to be before they deleted it for a tax write-off. This isn't just any Hollywood deal. This is watching one of the legendary studios get chopped up and sold for parts like a 1987 Honda Civic at a junkyard. We're talking about the home of Batman, Superman, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and the Looney Tunes getting put on the auction block. Well, who are the bidders, you might ask? Well, Netflix wants in, Comcast wants in, Paramount wants in, even though they are barely surviving on duct tape and Tom Cruise's remaining star power. And depending on which rumor you believe, Saudi Arabia might be one signature away from buying the whole thing and resurrecting the Snyderverse like necromancers at Comic-Con. Because 2025 wasn't weird enough already. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Critical Nerd channel, where we keep Hollywood honest, even when Hollywood keeps trying to file for bankruptcy and self-defense. If you're returning, welcome back to the rebellion. And if you're new here, stick around, check this video out. While you're at it, grab a snack. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Those things kind of help out the channel here with the YouTube algorithm. YouTube loves that engagement. Because things are getting a little spicy in Hollywood. And you don't want to miss this meltdown. Today, we're breaking down the looming Warner Brothers Discovery Fire Sale, the biggest studio auction in modern history. According to multiple trades, Deadline, Variety, Axios, New York Times, That Park Place, Geeks and Gamers, Cosmic Book News, Bar Chart, and approximately 47 guys yelling on Twitter, everyone is circling. Yes, the sharks are circling. Paramount Skydance with oil money. Netflix with streaming dominance. Comcast trying very hard to be liked. And maybe even Saudi Arabia with the rumored Snyderverse revival. Oh no, not Snyderverse coming back. So how do we get here? Who's actually bidding? And what happens to DC, HBO, and the entire Warner Brothers legacy when this is over? Let's dive in. Warner Brothers Discovery didn't just wake up one day and say, hey, let's sell the entire company right before Thanksgiving. This has been a slow motion train wreck. After the Discovery merger, WBD became a Frankenstein monster of massive debt, constant reorganizations, and decisions so bad they make Quibi look like a solid investment. David Zaslav's solution to everything was the same. Cut it, cancel it, delete it. HBO shows? Gone. Batgirl, Coyote vs. Acme? Finished movies? Deleted for tax write-offs. Old Sesame Street content? In a digital shallow grave somewhere. And after nuking their own library, they're still drowning in over $40 billion, that's billion with a B, in debt. The original plan? Well, it's split into two companies. Warner Brothers, which would comprise of the studios and streaming run by David Zaslav himself, and Discovery Global, the dying legacy cable networks, run by CFO Gunnar Wiedenfels. The theory was, separate the good stuff from the trash fire and the good stuff will be worth more. But then the bidders showed up with very large checkbooks, and suddenly the board discovered a new strategy. Wait, what? We can sell everything and leave with golden parachutes. Merry Christmas to us. So now, preliminary bids are due by, as I'm recording this video, tomorrow, November 20th. Second round offers come after, and they're reportedly hoping to have a buyer by Christmas. Nothing says happy holidays like aggressively selling Batman to the highest bidder while your employees wonder if they'll still have jobs in January. So, this begs the question, who wants to buy this corporate corpse? Welcome to our game show, folks. Who wants to destroy a studio? First up, we have David Ellison and his newly merged Paramount Skydance. Ellison didn't just want a piece, he wants the whole enchilada. studio, streaming, cable networks, the works. He's already made multiple bids, including one at $23.50 a share that got rejected like a bad Tinder opener. But he's back with a bigger offer, a reported $71 billion package. Where's that money coming from, you ask? Well, according to reporting and financial breakdowns, Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, Qatar Investment Authority, Abu Dhabi's ADA, each allegedly kicking in around $7 billion. That's about $21 billion from Gulf sovereign wealth funds, plus roughly $50 billion from the Ellison side and partners like Redbird. The pitch? Combine Paramount and Warner Brothers into a scaled-up powerhouse to compete with Disney and Netflix. And he's got the political advantage. The Ellisons are reportedly on good terms with President Trump, which absolutely matters when your mega merger needs a thumbs up from this administration. The downside? The Writers Guild is already vowing to fight it. They've said the merger after merger has harmed workers, diminished competition, and wasted hundreds of billions of dollars. For once, Hollywood labor might actually be the sane ones in the room. Next, we've got Netflix. Back in 2010, Time Warner CEO Jeff Bezos, I think I pronounced that right, mocked Netflix as the Albanian army trying to take over the world. Well, the Albanian army now has 300 million subscribers, a market cap around $470 billion, and is reportedly eyeing the company that used to laugh at them. Netflix co-CEOs Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters have usually been on team build, not buy. But if you can scoop up Warner Brothers Studios, DC Comics, HBO, the entire WB film and TV library, Cartoon Network, that's a once-in-a-generation opportunity. They've got about $9 billion in cash, massive stock value, and could structure a mostly stock deal if they want. Here's the nightmare scenario, though. Netflix buys WBD and sends everything straight to streaming. No more consistent theatrical runs, even fewer mid-budget films, movie theaters, already hanging on by a thread, flatline. And then we hit antitrust. Representative Daryl Issa fired off a letter warning that a Netflix-Warner combo would give one company over 30% of the streaming market, which is presumptively problematic under antitrust law. He also warned it could undermine opportunities for the full range of industry professionals, which is code for this is bad for literally everyone except Netflix executives. On top of that, Netflix chairman Reed Hastings reportedly doesn't want the regulatory migraine. So the question is whether Greg and Ted can convince him to empire building. Is it worth the headache? And then lastly, as far as entertainment studios go, we have Comcast. CEO Brian Roberts says he's highly confident they can win. Wall Street, according to the New York Post, yeah, sure you are. The problems? Comcast stock is at a 14-year low. They're in the middle of spinning off their cable networks into Versant, and Trump absolutely hates them because of MSNBC. The plan, though, is kind of logical. Merge HBO Max with Peacock, combine Warner Brothers and Universal under one roof, do not take on the dying linear cable networks, so they just want the crown jewels, not the junk drawer. But they don't have the monster stock valuation of Netflix or the infinite money glitch that is Saudi oil cash. Roberts has reportedly had to look for outside investors to back the bid, which screams, "We want this, but can't actually afford it." There's even talk of a joint bid where Netflix gets the studios, Comcast gets HBO Max and certain assets. But that sounds like a legal, regulatory, and logistical minefield. And I'm not sure anyone involved really wants that level of pain. Now let's talk about the part of the story that made the internet go nuclear. According to outlets like Cosmic Book News, Geeks and Gamers, and That Park Place, there are rumors, and albeit just rumors, that Saudi Arabia isn't just backing bids. They might be willing to go solo and buy Warner Brothers outright. Yeah, buy WBD outright. And allegedly, they'd want to restore the Snyderverse, bring back Henry Cavill as Superman, get Ben Affleck back as Batman, put Gal Gadot back in the tiara, finish Justice League 2 and 3. Yeah, that's the rumor. The same country that built Live Golf tried to buy every sport on Earth and is constructing a sci-fi city in the desert might resurrect Zack Snyder's DC universe, the Snyderverse. Is there anything grounding this in reality? Well, Zack Snyder has been posting a lot of old DCEU images lately. He's working on Brawler with the UFC. One of the executive producers is Turki Al-Sheikh, I think I pronounced that right, a top Saudi entertainment official. Saudi's sovereign fund has limitless money and is aggressively buying global entertainment assets. Is that proof? Well, no, it's not proof. Is it enough to make Twitter go insane? Yes, absolutely. Realistically, the money it would take to buy WBD, reassemble the original Snyderverse cast, restart production, and navigate U.S. regulators would be astronomical. But if James Gunn DCU really has stumbled out of the gate and Saudi money is looking for a big, flashy, globally recognized IP to flex with, you can see why people are saying this is the most 2025 thing that could possibly happen. Now, I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying we live in a world where it could, and that alone is wild. So let's game out the endings to this corporate horror movie. If Netflix wins, DC becomes the prestige therapy content. Superman spends 12 hours dealing with trauma before throwing a single punch. Batman broods over tax fraud for a whole season, and they cancel half the shows after one season anyway. The theaters, completely kneecapped as more films skip theatrical and go straight to streaming. If Comcast wins, welcome back to Peacock Max. Yeah, Peacock Max. Batman riding a Velociraptor in a Jurassic crossover, Harry Potter meets the Minions, and Fast and Furious Gotham Drift. It's pure corporate synergy, could be amazing, could be unwatchable, or probably both. If Paramount Skydance wins, every DC movie becomes Mission Impossible with capes. Superman doing halo jumps, Batman hanging off the side of planes, Wonder Woman fighting on top of a cargo jet. Also, gigantic consolidation. Paramount plus Warner becomes a mega studio that regulators will be staring at very nervously. And if Saudi Arabia decides to go solo and wins, well, the Snyderverse rises. Multi-hour Justice League projects in IMAX, Cavill, Affleck, Gadot, the whole crew back. Snyder becomes the most powerful filmmaker on Earth. Twitter explodes. James Gunn DCU becomes the Elseworlds universe, and every film ends with a quiet reminder that it's powered by state oil money. Now, if nobody gets regulatory approval, Warner Brothers Discovery collapses under its own weight and gets carved up like a corporate chartreuse board. Yeah, I think I pronounced that right. Chartreuse board. Someone buys DC, someone else buys HBO, the library gets licensed out, the studio we knew as Warner Brothers effectively ceases to exist. Either way, Hollywood's never going to be the same again. This is Disney Fox level consolidation, but a lot messier, more desperate, and with way more geopolitical chaos baked in. So here's where we stand right now. Tomorrow, November 20th, preliminary bids are due. Then come the binding offers. And if things move the way the boards want, or I should say the board wants, we'll know who owns Batman, Superman, Looney Tunes, Harry Potter, and HBO by Christmas. Netflix with streaming dominance, Comcast stumbling in with low stock and Trump rage, Paramount Skydance with $71 billion in oil-backed money, Saudi Arabia lurking in the background with Snyderverse fanboys cheering them on. This is the biggest studio shakeup since Disney bought Fox, except this time, nobody knows who the buyer is. Nobody trusts the leaks, and every executive involved looks like they haven't slept since June. But don't worry, Whatever happens, Hollywood will absolutely find a way to make it worse. They always do. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Warner Brothers corporate Hunger Games, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and share this video out there with fellow nerd or friends and family who needs to know just how insane this is. Drop your predictions in the comments down below. Who should buy Warner Brothers Discovery? Who do you think will actually make that purchase? And should the Snyderverse come back, or should we let it stay in the Phantom Zone? This has been the Critical Nerd signing off, and I will see you in the next Meltdown.